Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a video about a Facebook group I'm on about retro video games that has a challenge that it's specifically for 8-bit and 16-bit games, but it's to beat a game which they pick out and beat it within a week. And so far, there's been 5 games, and I have actually finished 3 of them. The last week's and this week's I didn't own it, so I tried emulating, and for one, I'm not really into emulation. I mean, I have the ROMs, but I'm not huge into playing them on the computer, just mostly because I don't like it. I don't like using keyboards. But one of them was a ZX Spectrum, or ZX, I'm sorry, it is ZX. Doesn't matter where you live, it is ZX Spectrum. And the other one was a Master System game that I didn't have. So let's get the first game out, and that was from the first week. Here it is, the one over here off into the side someplace. Donkey Kong Country 2. And now this, I have to say, a lot of people really like this one over the first one. But after finishing this one, and I have finished the first one, I have to say the first one is better than this. And to the people who think this one is better, have you finished this one? And if you did, I'm sorry, because this game is a million times harder than the first one. And, I mean, yeah, challenge is good, but this was almost, like, think about if somebody took a level editor and just purposely tried to make a harder game. That's what this felt like, especially at the ending. The beginning first few sections are okay. As you're getting towards, especially in the last set of levels, some of those levels were just insane. And I personally think that some of them were just because they got bored and they were trying something new. Some of them was just bad design. The controls for hit detection was just kind of off, especially if you're one of the animal friends. And some of the times I felt I died because of the game programming. Some of it was definitely my fault. But some of the times there was inconsistencies where I could do the same thing and exactly the same thing twice and have different results. Where one time I could pass through the bottom of a platform, but the next time I won't because the hit detection was a little funny. Now the first one wasn't perfect. The controls in the first one felt a little, I don't know, I always felt the jumping mechanics felt a little constrained. Like every time you made a jump, you were worried about landing in the next platform. With this one, there was a lot less of that. Oh, in front of this cartridge. Still loved it. I have nothing strongly against this game, but because of the difficulty, I'd give this one maybe an 8 out of 10, where the first one I give it like a 9.5, 9. For me, there hasn't been ever a perfect 10 out of 10 game. There's been like 9.5s, like the first Donkey Kong Country, the first medieval game, maybe a 9. There's been some really, really good ones, but it's hard to hit a perfect 10 because nothing's perfect. Second week, another difficult game. He chose always difficult. Mega Man 2. And I know a lot of people are saying, oh, that's not hard. And in a way, it's not if you know how to work the power-ups, if you do them in the right order. The first set of stages, not so bad. When you get to the Wily Castle, I got to the point where I don't personally have a ton of time to sit down for hours and just play nonstop. I can maybe play for an hour to 2 hours at most, and for my own personal ability, because for me, sitting around playing the same game for over 2 hours, I don't have that kind of attention span. Plus, I have a lot of other things to do, especially I'm going to have even more things to do coming up in the next couple of months, which there will be a video about that when that happens. And, there's passwords for the beginning half, but once you get to the Wily stages, there isn't passwords. So I actually switched from this version to the Legacy Collection on the Xbox One, which is just, I got it on sale on that system, otherwise I would have picked something else. And I used the save states. I didn't use it to cheat. I didn't like refresh every time I died. I used it just when I finished a level, I would save. That way, if I died going through the next level and I didn't have time to catch back up, I'll just start from here and go next time I come around. So I finished the game. Some people can question that all you want. I don't care. In my mind, I finished it. Same thing with this next one. They changed the rules at the end of this week when I was playing, which some of you can tell what it is from this picture, but it's Streets of Rage 2 on the Genesis or Mega Drive, depending where you are. And the game's hard. The game was fun, though. But I don't want to call it a cheat, but if you have two controllers, you can get double the continues. First, I turned the lives up to the max. And then when I ran out of continues on the first controller, I pushed start on the second controller, and then I have 3 more continues. Well, I actually only did it within the first set of the first 5 lives on the second controller. So I was pretty close to doing it in one controller. But after the week was over, he said, oh, well, you were supposed to leave it on the standard 3 lives and not use continues. There is no way, especially because in order to get what he considered gold level achievement, you had to beat it on hard. And there was no way that I was doing that on hard. Well, within one continue, that is. I don't have the time for that. Maybe if I had been playing it since, 15, 20 years ago, whenever this came out, probably more than that, but when I would have gotten it 2015, I don't know, so many years ago, maybe. But I don't have that much experience with it. I don't have that much time to put into it. Plus, I have so many other games to play. So the next week after that was actually a ZX Spectrum game. It was Manic Miner, which is supposed to be on the keyboard, so it was okay running it through the PC. I ran it on many different things. I tried it on the phone, I tried it on the computer, laptops, all kinds of keyboards. The version that we were playing was an online emulated version, and I felt the controls were a little touchy, where if you held, you push jump, and in most games you usually hold jump until you land, and then you keep walking. With that one, if you hold it after you jump again. And there was, I think, 20 screens to beat. I think I got to 5, and I had to stop, because it was, for me, it's aggravating. This week, it's Wonder Boy 3 on the Master System, which I have a feeling I'm not so great at it because I'm using a keyboard. But I don't know. It's on the Switch, and it's on the Master System. It's on the TurboGrafx 16. But I don't have any of the versions, and all of the versions are about $40, no matter which version you go for. Except if you get it on the PC, I think there's like not Steam, what's the GOG? I think they have it for like $9.99, something like that. But I'd be right back to using that, or I'd be on the Xbox One controller, which I use for the PC gaming. I have like GTA and all that kind of stuff on the PC, this PC to be exact. And I use an Xbox One controller because it's Windows 10, and it's really easy to do. But yeah, that's it so far. He said he had enough games planned out for the year, including stuff for the Commodore 64. I had to talk him into throwing in some DOS games, because DOS is 16-bit. Microsoft DOS is a 16-bit operating system. So I think I talked him into that. I have like 50-something different of like the big names from back then, but I have maybe a couple dozen on the Commodore 64, and they're all arcade games. They're not even ones that you can beat, so it's not ones he's going to pick. So yeah, if any of you are part of any of those Facebook groups, if your group doesn't have that kind of challenge, maybe bring it up to them, and it's a fun thing to do. It gives me a reason to finish these games. I probably never would have actually finished Mega Man 2 or Streets of Rage 2, to be honest with you, without this challenge, which I kind of feel bad about because they were very good games. So if I go through a few more games that I actually own, I'll do another one of these videos. Maybe sometime I'll show some gameplay of me trying to actually beat one of them. I thought about it for Wonder Boy, but we'll see. And I have one more video planned coming up about some interesting things with Earthbound. So I'll see you in that one.